Hey besties, I don't know if you can hear, but it's currently raining, so the perfect reading weather. And I thought, since I'm not currently reading anything, I just finished, well, yesterday during the morning, I finished the book I was reading, which was Play Along by Liz Tumford, and I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I'm currently not reading anything, and the weather is so nice. I have no work. I have the house all by myself because my boyfriend is out. I'm just with my dogs, and I thought it would be cute and fun to start a reading vlog. I want to have amazing reads because last month I only read 3 books, but those 3 books were amazing. I gave 1 5-star and 2 4.5 stars. So an amazing reading month, and I want to continue having great reads. So I decided to start filming and reading my 5-star predictions. So books I think would be 5 stars. I'm starting with Divine Rivals. This is a romantasy. I have no clue what it is exactly about. I just know that they both are journalists, kind of, I think. Maybe wrong. Yeah, I know that her brother went to war. I know it has something to do with like magical typewriters, and the romance is really cute in this one. Literally no clue. I started reading it through audio form while I was making myself breakfast. I'm only on chapter 2, but I also want to read like the physical copy. So I'm gonna go and start this one. I'm so excited because I really feel like I'm gonna love it. Like, I just can tell. Yeah, fingers crossed that this is my next 5-star read. Hey besties, so I haven't given you an update in like ever. I literally told you when I started this book and never gave updates or thoughts or anything, I think, and I'm already 91%. And I'm not even in Puerto Rico right now. I'm in the US because I'm here for a game. I've been reading this book nonstop, and I can already tell that this prediction of being a 5-star read is gonna be like true. I think I'm gonna rate this book 5 stars. I only have 9% left, and I'm loving it so much. Will give like my thoughts once I do finish it, but I don't think they will change because I'm already obsessed. Like, the pacing is perfect. I feel like it flew by. The romance side of like the romantasy is so beautiful. Why it took me this long to start this book is so beautiful. The first letters they were exchanging, just everything, like romance. I'm obsessed with this book. I love these 2 characters. This book has like a war is going on between gods, and literally this is making my heart beat 1,000,000 times per second because I feel like I'm in tension because the stakes are so high. Like, something bad could happen at any moment, literally. And yeah, I'm like stressed, but the romance is so sweet and how they've dealt with everything. And yeah, I'll give more like clear thoughts at the end, but I mean at the end of this book when I finish this. But so far it's looking amazing. I'm back home and I finished Divine Rivals when I was in the US. I'm back home in Puerto Rico, so now I can give you my final and official rating and thoughts review, kind of. I did give this a 5-star, so my prediction was right. I knew since the first chapters that I was probably gonna give it 5 stars because just the writing was so beautiful, and the pacing and the plot line, the characters, everything was captivating me. And this is the type of book that I enjoy, basically. The romance side of this, Guys, so beautiful. Literally everything I wish the romance was like, it was. This is everything I needed. I went to this book completely blind. I only knew that there were some kind of letters, and if there's letters in books, I'm gonna eat it up because I love letters. It's basically about two rivals. They're trying to get a position at this like newspaper stores, and also her brother is at war. So that's basically the prologue. You get that her brother is leaving for war because there's a war going on between gods. That's all I'm gonna say, because if you go into this book blind, you're gonna love it so much more. So yeah, they basically have like magical typewriters, which was the fantasy side of it, apart from the gods and everything. But that was so beautiful, and it felt so magical and so whimsical, and like I just loved every single thing about this book. And as I said, this book, like, it has a war going on, and that had my anxiety through the roof. Literally, I felt like I was there. I had my heart racing so much because the way she wrote it, you felt like you were there with them and you were so scared of what might happen. I feel like the way she wrote it, it was so well done. The ending of this book, what the? Literally, I was shook. I finished this at a Barnes and I was like, are you joking? So I'm so grateful that I read this when the second book is already out, because imagine like all the people that read this and the second book wasn't out. You guys are literally, I couldn't, because the ending of this book is so crazy and the plot twists are so good. So yeah, this book deserves all the hype that it gets, and it is a 5-star indeed. With that being said, the next book that I'm gonna be reading and my next 5-star prediction, I started this last night and I already read 50 pages, and it was literally before bed. I literally stopped because I needed to sleep because I had work, but I could see myself binging this. This is Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, and you guys, I'm obsessed with this series. You guys know I'm not gonna be talking about the plot so much because this is already the 4th book in the series, but just know that this series, you should read it. You should read it. I'm already highlighting so much stuff. When I read Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home, I literally ran out of a whole highlighter. So I just know that this one is gonna be the exact same. And one thing I love about Daisy books in particular is that in Daisy's point of view, like, you're reading and then she just puts footnotes. Hey besties, I haven't given you an update in so long, but I'm still reading Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. I've been taking the longest time because I've been so busy. Like, life has been extremely busy. I've been reading this book since the beginning of August, and tomorrow is September 1. So yeah, I'm currently on page 358. Trigger warning, I do stop in the middle of the chapter. I stop anywhere. I'm not like have to finish the chapter. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If the chapter is quite long, I will stop when I want to stop. But yeah, I'm this way through, like, it's almost over. Let's see how many pages I have left without spoiling myself something. Okay, I have more than 100 pages to go. I really want to finish this one by today, so I'm gonna try. Let's get into my thoughts. First things first, I'm loving it, of course. However, I am not getting the 5-star feeling, just for the fact that it's taking me so long to read because I've been busy. So it's been like distracting me, and I haven't been like able to be fully immersed into the story like I was with The Long Way Home, that I couldn't stop reading. And this one, I think that these pages are gonna get me, like, I'm scared. So when I read the Magnolia books, I root for BJ. Like, I'm obsessed with BJ and I love BJ, even though you know what he did it, like, you know. And this one, I'm like, God, I love Julian too, and I'm like, Magnolia, I don't know what to do, girl. If I was Magnolia, I wouldn't either, because in this one, I'm like, I'm obsessed with Julian, but in The Long Way Home, I'm obsessed with BJ, and I'm like, what the fuck? And now with Daisy and Christian, I feel like The Long Way Home ruined me because I can't Like when I read the second in the Daisy Hates, the first Daisy Hates book, I loved Daisy and Christian. But now, like I'm reading this one after reading The Long Way Home, and I'm like, I'm a BJ, and like my favorites are BJ and Magnolia's books. But I love getting Julian's point of view in this one, so I'm not paying that much attention. No, it's not. I'm paying attention to Daisy and Christian, but I just prefer, I think, the Magnolia and BJ's books. All of that to say that I'm still loving it. I love this series. It's not giving me that 5-star feeling as of yet. This might change everything. You never know with these books. The Great Undoing. I still don't have a rating. I am gonna sit through this one and probably come back tomorrow for an official rating. Right now, I don't think it was a 5 stars. Just by comparing it to The Long Way Home, I feel like I connected with The Long Way Home. I feel like The Long Way Home ruined every other book for me. But I loved it. I think it's sitting at a 4.5 stars right now. I'm obsessed with Julian, but I'm also obsessed with BJ, and I'm like, there's a quote here that literally had me on the floor. Let me see if I can find it. I think I highlighted it. I hope. All of this. Okay, I'm gonna start. If you don't want quote spoiler-ish, skip. I'll put the time here. It says, Julian says, she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and I've seen it all. I'll do whatever the fuck she says. I love everything about her. How she listens to the same song on repeat for about 2.5 hours. How she fusses over clothes. How she looks in my bathroom when she's cleaning her teeth. How she sits on my lap no matter what I'm doing. How pink her mouth is with nothing even on it. She's the goddess in the Botticelli clamshell. Her eyes are the water lilies in Monet's pond. She is the hand of God reaching down to mankind. Clint's kiss is a portrait of us, and I'm gonna steal it. Take it, make it mine, make her mine too. And then he's like, I'm gonna do it, like tell her he loves her. All this to say is that I'm upset. How does one choose between a Julian and a BJ? Like, imagine having Julian's point of view in the Magnolia books. I would be floored, because that is the hardest, most difficult love triangle I could ever like pick between, because I'm obsessed with them both, like literally. And I loved Daisy in this one. She's so strong in this one, just a baddie. Christian, I loved how he finally like showed how much he loves her, and I loved it. Is it a 5 star? No, I think it's a 4.75. This one is my second favorite from the series. I have to reread it, like trying to binge it, and it's definitely gonna be a 5 star. I need 3 to 5 business days to process another MPU book. Hey besties, I wanted to show you the two books that I'm reading. These are 5-star predictions because they are really anticipated reads. One is from one of my favorite authors. The other one, I've heard amazing things, and the premise of it always gave me the feeling that it could be a potential 5 stars. I'm talking about these two books, Wild Eyes and The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I'm currently reading both of them. In The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I'm actually hearing it through audio form. So while I drive to work, I put the audiobook, and while I come back to work, from work to my home, I put the audiobook. What is this? Ooh, the lighting is horrible. Anyway, if I do this, I don't look that bad. But yeah, the lighting is horrible right here. Like, I am currently 50% through The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I want to physically read it as well. So now that it's Saturday, I may read it physically because I connect better with the books when I'm reading them physically. And this one is about Addie. She was born in the 1700s, I think. And she was gonna get married to someone that she obviously didn't want to get married, and her parents were forcing her to. Her grandmother always told her, if you want to contact gods to ask them for something, pray for it, but never make a deal. Dark god, like after darkness when it's night, I think. Anyway, something like that. And she was gonna get married, and she was in a moment of desperation. So that was her only way out, and she asked for some things. Now she meets people, and when she gets out of sight, they automatically don't remember her. And she also doesn't die. So she's been living like 300 years. She's now in New York City. We get the past timeline and the present timeline, and she is used to meeting people and they forget about her once they stop seeing her. And one day she is at this place and she meets this guy, and when she comes another day expecting him to not remember her at all, he does remember her. And then I'm at the part where I already know why he can remember her, and I am really enjoying it. I think that the audiobook is really good, and it has helped me go through it because it's a slow-paced book. However, I'm not getting that 5-star feeling, but I feel that it may be because of the audiobook, because it doesn't matter the book, I never connect with the audiobooks as deep as I connect when I read it physically. That's why I'm currently on page 211, and I'm gonna be reading physically. I can't do this because the lighting is horrible. I can't. So I'm gonna read physically for a couple of hours. The other book that I'm reading as a potential 5-star read, I'm currently on page 160, chapter 14. It's not giving that 5-star feeling yet, even though I'm reading this one physically on my Kindle because this series is Kindle Unlimited. But yeah, it doesn't give that 5-star feeling because as for now, obviously I still have more than halfway to go. I feel like this female character, she's famous. I'm gonna tell you first what the book is about. So this is about West and Skylar. West is Rosie's brother. Rosie is the girl from the first book and Ford's best friend. Ford is the guy from the first book. So it's about West and Skylar. Skylar is a country artist. She's a singer, and one day, literally the first chapter, he is driving and he sees this woman trying to take a selfie or recording a video with a grizzly, and he saves her basically. And she was on her way to go to Ford Grant's music studio, I think is what he has. She was going unannounced because she's in a midlife crisis basically, because she is having a lot of trouble with her father, who is her manager, and she just broke up with a boyfriend that was actually playing a PR kind of boyfriend, and she didn't even know. And yeah, she's trying to run away from her life. She's had enough, and she goes to Rose Hill to go and record some music and be relaxed and just work by herself on herself while also recording music. She was going, but she was not going at that time, so Ford and Rosie were not expecting her. That's why they say we don't have it available where you could stay, but my best friend friend has like a bunkhouse where you could stay. So she's staying there and it's in his property. And of course, when she goes there is West, you have like a close proximity type of situation. So that's basically the vibes. And he's a single dad, obviously. And I'm enjoying so much the parts where he's with his kids because he's literally the best father ever. I love him and his relationship with his children. And yeah, I feel like I really like West more than I like Skylar as of now. But so far they only have kissed, but there's kind of tension and they know they like each other kind of, but West doesn't want anything. That's everything I know as of now. That is not a spoiler. These are my 2 current reads. These are potential 5 stars because when I started these books I thought that they could be 5 stars because most of Elsie Silver's books that I've read, out of 5 books, I mean, well, 6 with previous one. Out of 6 books, 3 have been 5 stars. The first book in the series I gave 4.5, and this one I feel like if I read it physically, it could improve my connection towards the book, but I'm loving it. So these are my current reads. I'm really enjoying them, and I'll give you more updates once I get more further into them. I finished last night The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and my rating has to do a lot with the format that I decided to read this book. I read most of this book through audio form, and as I've mentioned you before, when I read an audiobook I don't connect that deeply as when I read it physically, like on a book or on my Kindle. So not that I didn't adore this book, but I feel like since I read it through audio and it took me a whole week, I am going to give this a 4.5 star. 4.5 star. I loved it. This book is so unique. The plot line is so different from any other fantasy I've read before. The characters stood out to me so much. I could see like parts of myself in Addie, and I really love when a character does that. Makes me feel seen in some parts. So if you haven't read this book, this is the perfect time to read it. Fall and The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue are the best combination. This book gave all the feels and I really loved it. I even cried, like I teared up towards the end, and the way it finishes, the way it ends, it's so amazing. Like I loved the ending. I loved all the timelines when we went to the past, when we were in the present, all the interactions, all the feelings and thoughts that she was like we were reading. I want to reread it in the future, and I know that if I reread it physically, I'm gonna give it 5 stars because this book is just that amazing. Now I'm like kind of regretting hearing the audiobook. Not that the audiobook is bad. I really like the narrator and the voices, but it's just amazing. I don't connect with audiobooks as deeply as I do with like reading physically. So with that being said, this book was not a 5-star prediction. I just know that if I read it again, I'm gonna give it 5 stars because it has that potential. So the other book I was reading was Wild Eyes. I'm still reading it. I'm currently on chapter 30. No, I already finished this chapter. I'm currently on chapter 33, so only this much left. And I can tell this is not gonna be a 5-star. It's standing right now in a 4-star, maybe a 4.25, but it's not a 5-star. I really am enjoying West, and now their relationship, I'm rooting for it more than I was in the past. And the spies, last night I read a spy scene that had my jaw on the floor, and earlier this morning I read another chapter with another spy scene that I was with my jaw on the floor. So Elsie, this one is good. So I am not going to include the end of this book in this video because this is a video of 5-star predictions, and this is not going to be a 5-star, I just know it, but I will talk about it in my bookstagram and give a mini review. So go to the links down below and follow me on my bookstagram so you can see my final rating of this, and Goodreads, so you'll be besties in Goodreads because I'm gonna rate this in Goodreads as well, and I'll probably share my thoughts in a, like a wrap up or in the future. But yeah, it's not 5 stars for me. I still can't decide if I liked Wild Love better than this one. I'm still like in between. Right, so with that being said, let's go through all the books we read into this video. So I started off with Divine Rivals. I knew it was gonna be a 5 stars since the beginning. It gave that feeling straight away. This was a beautiful story, so heartbreaking, and it had me on the edge of my seat all the time. I connected to the characters in a deeper level, and I was never bored. The book literally made me feel like I was there with them. So Divine Rivals, 5 stars, loved it. I can't wait to read Ruthless Vows, which is my TBR. Then I read Daisy Hates The Great Undoing, and I am officially giving this a 4.75 stars. I think right now my ranking with the MPU series is first The Long Way Home, then this one, then Daisy Hates, and fourth Magnolia Parks, the first book. I just love this series, and the only reason I think this was not a 5 stars was because I took so long to read it. I hate reading when I'm busy because I can't enjoy the books the same. So this book, I know that when I decide to reread the whole series, I'm gonna give it 5 stars because I just love this universe. I love the drama, I love the characters, I love everything they do. So then we read The Invisible Life of Emily Rue. You already know, 4.5 stars, loved it. And this one, I'm gonna read it at my own time, trying to finish it later tonight, but yeah, it's standing at a 4 stars right now. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.